When you think of a Sri Lankan safari, you probably imagine a dusty jeep, right? Bouncing along a track, maybe with a bunch of other vehicles all trying to get a look at the same leopard. But what if I told you there's another way? A quieter, more mysterious safari that's not on a road at all, but on the water. Okay, let's dive into this.
That one sentence really says it all, doesn't it? In a country that is absolutely packed with incredible national parks, this one is a total outlier. This isn't about following the crowd. It's about exploring a huge inland sea where the whole safari experience plays by a different set of rules.
For this journey, we're really leaning on the incredible expertise of Ceylon Wild Tours. They've spent a ton of time figuring out this unique corner of Sri Lanka, and we're going to break down their findings to show you exactly what makes Oya National Park a world away from your typical safari.
So let's get into our first section here. We're going way beyond those familiar Jeep tracks to really get a handle on what makes this place so fundamentally different.
Okay, so just look at this contrast for a second. On one side, you have the classic experience, jeeps, dirt tracks, and let's be honest, often a lot of crowds. But then you have Oya. Here, your safari vehicle is a boat. Your track is this massive open reservoir. And the main thing you'll notice is the quiet, the tranquility. It's a completely different mindset.
The heart of it all is the Senanayake Samudraya. It's this huge man-made lake, and it's dotted with all these little islands. And because it's so remote and you need a boat to see it, you just don't get the same number of people. It's perfect for anyone who's looking for a more genuine, eco-friendly connection to the wild.
But here's the thing about a trip here. It's about so much more than just the animals. It's really a two-part journey that connects you not only to Sri Lanka's amazing nature, but also to its deepest, oldest human history. Let's see how.
So, in this totally unique water world, what's the one thing everyone hopes to see? The absolute holy grail of a Oya safari that people travel across the planet for.
This is it. The incredible, almost unbelievable sight of elephants swimming from one island to the next. They just glide through the water with their trunks held up high like snorkels, looking for fresh grazing spots. It's a powerful, beautiful moment that you literally cannot see anywhere else in Sri Lanka.
But it's definitely not just about the elephants. The reservoir supports this huge variety of life. For birdwatchers, this place is an absolute paradise, especially during the migratory season. You'll see herds of water buffalo and deer down at the shoreline, and you've got to keep your eyes peeled for crocodiles sunbathing on the banks. It's the whole ecosystem right there in front of you.
And this is that second pillar of Oya. This area is also home to the Veda people, Sri Lanka's indigenous community. We're talking about the island's oldest human civilization, but their traditional way of life is fading fast, with maybe only a couple hundred people still practicing those ancient customs. It's a huge privilege to have any kind of encounter with this culture.
And this brings us to a really important point about being a responsible traveler. The goal here is to have a genuine ethical cultural exchange, not some kind of staged show for tourists. The best experiences are things like guided walks with community elders, where you can learn about their incredible knowledge of the forest, from medicinal plants to ancient rituals.
Okay, so you're probably captivated by the idea of swimming elephants in ancient cultures. But how do you actually make it happen? Right, let's get into the nitty-gritty, the planning, the logistics.
The million-dollar question for any trip, right? When should I go? But for Oya, the answer is a little more complex. There isn't just one best time to visit. There are two very distinct seasons that offer two totally different but equally amazing experiences.
And this table here breaks it down perfectly. You have the green season, roughly January to May, when the lake is nice and full. This is prime time for bird watching, and, most importantly, it's your best shot at seeing those swimming elephants. But then, in the dry season, from about June to December, the water level drops, and all this fresh grass appears on the banks. That's when you see massive herds coming down to graze. So the question is, do you want to see them swim or see them graze in huge numbers?
Just getting to Oya is part of the adventure, because its remoteness is part of its charm. You can hire a car, which is a long but really scenic 6 to 8 hour drive. If you're short on time, a quick domestic flight to the nearby town of Ampara is your best bet. Or if you're a really adventurous budget traveler, you can piece together a route with trains and buses. It's tricky, but doable.
All right, let's talk money. A trip to Oya is definitely an investment, and it helps to understand the costs, because the pricing here is not as straightforward as you might think.
So at first glance, you might see this price. The official government entrance fee for a foreign visitor is only around $12. Sounds like a bargain, right? Well, not so fast.
So what's the deal? Why is the price you actually end up paying so much higher? Well, that base fee is just one tiny piece of a much bigger puzzle. The final price gets bundled with a whole bunch of other mandatory fees.
And this table lays it all out. On top of that $12 fee, you've got fixed costs for the boat itself, a compulsory guide, and government taxes. And because a lot of these fees are fixed per boat, they can really hit solo travelers or couples the hardest. The price per person definitely goes down the more people you have in your group.
So, a more realistic all-in cost for one person doing a half-day safari is going to be somewhere in the ballpark of $120 to over $200. Now, I know that's a premium price, but it reflects the specialized boat, the expert guides, and just the sheer logistics of running an operation in such a remote, pristine place.
So, we've covered the what, the when, the how, and the how much. Let's wrap this all up with a final verdict and some pro tips to make sure your trip is absolutely unforgettable.
Okay, here's your quick cheat sheet. Number 1, always book the early morning safari slot for the best light and the calmest water. Wear neutral colors to blend in. A raincoat is a must, especially in the green season, and do not forget a good pair of binoculars. And most importantly, if you get the chance to meet the Veda people, approach the experience with respect, curiosity, and sensitivity.
And I really want to leave you with this idea. Galoya is the total opposite of a rushed, check-the-box kind of safari. It's a place that asks for and rewards a slower, more patient approach. It's all about just soaking in the incredible stillness of the water and watching wildlife that's truly wild, far away from the noise and chaos of the modern world.
A huge thank you to our source for this one, Ceylon Wild Tours. Their incredibly detailed guide is what made this whole explainer possible. And hey, if you found this useful and you want to see more deep dives into some of the world's most amazing places, please do us a favor and hit that subscribe button. It's really the best way to support what we do and make sure we can keep bringing these stories to you. Thanks for watching.